With experience reviewing every executive order from the current administration and advising businesses on what needs to adapt and what is needed to adapt, Nadine Jones is with us. Listen, legal strategist, DEI thought leader, founder of General Counsel Support Services. She's got a way of taking complex policy changes and making them accessible and understandable for real people and small business owners. You're here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, episode 787, where we will be getting started and going to the virtual green room and bringing our guest on momentarily. We're glad to have you here. Don't you move. We'll be right back after this quick intro.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Listen, the studio is jumping already. Let me go ahead and greet some people, certainly. Hey, Kim. Hey, Joe. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Roberto. Hey, Marilyn. Good to see you. Stacy, we're glad to have you hanging out with us here in the virtual studio. And as always, you know, the goal of the show and the theme of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we know that we're going to do just that today. Welcome to Instagram viewers as well. And those that are over on YouTube. You might see a little bit of a different view. YouTube's done some cool things. So we might have some brand new people who are not subscribed, but you're catching this episode, and we're glad to have you. And yes, you heard me correctly. Episode 787 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, certainly brought to you by Mitchell Productions. And so we invite you to grab our complimentary planner. We have a complimentary planner that you can get. That'll help you if you're a business owner, organization owner, and you're thinking about marketing. Look, I always got to get this right. Over here, if you're on YouTube watching from your TV or on Amazon Music watching from your TV, you can scan that right there. Otherwise, mymarketingplan.biz. Look down below in the show notes. We want to offer that to you. All right, so let's jump on in for today's segment here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Listen, we're going to be talking about work-life balance. We're going to talk about executive orders. We might talk about being a single mom. We might talk about small business owners. We have a lot that's going on, and I'm excited to be bringing Nadine Jones up to the virtual mic. And let me just tell you a little bit about her while everyone is coming on in. Nadine is certainly a seasoned legal executive and dynamic storyteller known for bridging law, leadership, and public discourse. A former general counsel and SVP at a global logistics giant, now Nadine is serving as the founder of General Counsel Support Services, where she's offering strategic, legal, and compliance guidance to companies navigating regulatory and cultural transformation. She is a recognized voice in media, and a media voice certainly on issues of corporate accountability, DEI, and community police relations. Nadine has appeared on NPR, NBC, Fox 5, more. She's going to be able to add the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And she has received awards from organizations such as the National Legal Aid and Defender Association for her work. And certainly she has done many other things. And you can check out her full bio at sharvette.com or look down below in the show notes. She's also a published writer and former Adjunct Professor at Fordham Law. Put your hands together, celebrate, clap it up as we bring Nadine up to the stage here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Hello, Nadine.
Hello, Sharvette. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
I'm telling you, we are excited to chat with you. And I know sometimes people feel like, is law like cool and sexy to talk about? And the answer is yes. And the answer answer absolutely is yes. Like, listen, I gotta shout out my mom. She's holding it down over on YouTube. Hey, mom, thank you so much for always being here, and family and all of that. So I want to actually jump right on in so that our viewers can learn a little bit more about you. So certainly a seasoned legal executive, as mentioned, but also a single mom. And so love to hear how you started, how you were able to navigate challenges of work-life balance while really leading at a high level.
Wow. Okay. So that's a meaty one. There really is no balance. So, when people say work-life balance, it kind of, you think about 50-50, think of the scales of justice and 50-50. No, it's never going to be 50-50. And the older I get, the more I think about it, like you're picture like you're surfing on a wave, and you never know which wave is going to hit you higher. Sometimes it's the work wave that needs more of you. And so the family wave kind of stays behind. And if you're a single mom like me, you have to set money aside and build up your village and staff up, as one good friend told me. You're going to have to staff up with after school care and all of these activities to help you navigate that. And then sometimes the wave is family, and family needs more of your attention. So I've never been able to balance it. It's just you kind of be fluid.
Yeah.
And you need to put yourself on one of those waves. I know we talk about self-care a lot.
Yeah.
But if you don't have yourself included one of those waves, right? A constant actually measure, you'll be of no use either to work or to family, or sometimes to both. And it's inevitable. It really is inevitable. So you've got to include yourself in that as best as you can. If you've got young kids, okay, fine. I understand. Your me time is going to be very, very narrow.
Right.
I get that. And as they get older, they're a little bit more self-sufficient. You might be able to do more by yourself, maybe go to a show by yourself, or if you like massage, whatever it is that you do. Yeah. Read some quiet time. My son's 15. He doesn't even want me to talk to him. I go to his room. He's like, why are you in here?
Yeah, right.
So, it shifts. But yeah, I don't know if balance is possible, to tell you the truth. It's just a fluidity. There's a fluidity about it.
That's good. I see some hearts coming up there. And I think that's a great analogy, actually. I think that's an awesome analogy. I don't think I've heard that kind of wave analogy. And if we sit and look at the ocean, I like going to the beach and just kind of watching the water. And it's constant movement, right? It's constant. Some waves are bigger, but it keeps moving. And I also like how you talked about staffing up. And a lot of times people will talk in the small business arena around outsourcing. However, outsourcing happens in your day-to-day life. If you need someone to pick up your children, if you need to do the Kroger click list instead of going into the grocery store, definitely there are a lot of things there. And certainly in your profession and all of the area and the work that you have done, do you have any, recommendations and lessons you've learned as, on this journey as a single mother that you like to share?
Like in terms of working in a demanding job and having a child?
Yes.
I don't know if it's advice. I can share good fortune, and I can share what it means to be blessed. And I'll give you an example. Okay. I was watching this movie many, many years ago, and it was about I think it was King George. And he had a horrible stammer. I don't remember the name of the movie. And he had nannies, highest paid nannies, the queen, the king's nannies, And my son, I don't know, was maybe 4 or 5, I don't know, a little guy. And I'm watching this movie, and the nannies were efficient and maybe even excellent in terms of their care of him. Mm-hmm. But they didn't love him. They didn't like him. They didn't love him. And I remember thinking, for all the money in the world, all any working mother wants or working parent wants is to have their child surrounded by people who love them. So I started thinking, even Beyonce and Jay-Z with all their money, they want nannies and caregivers that will love your child. And so to me, that is something that money can't even buy. If you watch that movie, not even the king had people around him that actually the caregivers love him. I have been so blessed to have people around my child who's on the spectrum, by the way, so it's not easy. Who get him, who want the best for him, who believe in him, they love him. So it's just, I don't know what the formula is. All I can share is that I have been blessed in that regard.
Wonderful, wonderful. It can be done. You can make it through. You can be successful and also a single mom. So shout out to all the single moms. Shout out to all the mothers in the virtual studio and hanging out with us here. And so law, how did you get into law? Like, how did that even happen?
I was always drawn to the concept of like justice and fairness. But I never thought I was smart enough to be a lawyer. Truly, I wasn't even going to apply. I just assumed I was not smart enough because, of course, lawyers are so smart. They're so brilliant. Not true. But I'd never seen anyone like me, at least in my day-to-day, in my world, actually be a lawyer. So a really good friend of mine, my bestie at the time, and we got into so many shenanigans, like, partying when we shouldn't have been partying, all these crazy things.
All the things.
And she got into Howard Law. Okay. And I remember her telling me, you've always wanted to be a lawyer. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that. She's like, but Nadine, if I could do it, you can do it. We're the same. I'm like, you know what? We are the same. And maybe there's a shot. And it was seeing her, someone who was me, really, in terms of being a Black woman, same age, same kind of upbringing, same socioeconomic status. Wasn't like she was super wealthy and I was super poor. No, we were the same. Wow. And she said, if I could do it, you can do it. And I sat for the LSAT the first time. I didn't score great the first time. The second time I scored enough. I made it into Howard, and it turns out I was pretty good at it.
How about that?
I was really good at it. Yes. And that's how I got into the law. I love it.
Is there? All right. And so one of the biggest, topics and things that there's a lot of conversation around is around these executive orders that we've seen come through the current administration. And I'd love to hear kind of just your thoughts on them with the lens of, a lot of our listeners that are small business owners. And, what are you seeing? What are your thoughts and commentary around the executive orders and up against our small business owners that are listening? The Trump 2.0, much more organized, focused, much more on agenda, on task. I don't mean the weird, the stuff that he says as an individual. I mean the machinery of Trump 2.0. So he came out the gate pretty strong. Like January 20th was the first executive order, and was all about eviscerating DEI. Yes.
Eviscerating it to the point where there's a concept in law that's called having like a chilling effect. So when you come out bombastic about we will prosecute, we will wrap your company up in litigation for all time to come. You won't get any federal business. You won't. The effect of that is for other companies, organizations to think twice before, let's say, they hire someone who looks like you or someone who looks like me. Because now you have to defend your hiring choice, right? And having been a general counsel, your number one objective, maybe not number one, but high on the list, is you don't want to embroil your organization in protracted litigation. Yeah. You want to find a way for them to make the widget without having to be embroiled in litigation. So many companies, as we saw, some of them public, some of them not, said, we don't want any smoke.
Yeah.
And they dropped their DEI programs. Some of them maybe underestimated the impact that would have on their bottom line. And others who kind of hung in there. We could talk about Costco because they just sued the government on Friday, by the way, for something else.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Look, when I was on the board, and I'm a Black woman, Howard graduate, Howard trained, I understand the history, the marginalization, the unfairness, the lack of equity, and the impacts it has had generationally. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But when I was on the board, I always tried to root our DEI efforts in the bottom line. Root it in the company's reason for existence, which is to make a profit. And the studies are uncontroverted that diverse organizations, diverse economies, societies outperform companies that don't have diversity. So when some of my board members, and God bless them, I love them for that, would say like, oh, well, we're going to do this because it's the right thing to do. And, social wrongs. I'm like, rooted in the bottom line. And the reality is you produce better work, services, when you have a diverse body of employees who feel comfortable in that space, who feel empowered to speak up with ideas or issues, who feel heard and they're able to work with a Black woman, with a LGBTQ plus member. They're able to work with a woman wearing her hijab. You produce better work when you're in an environment that's comfortable like that. It could be rural America, white rural America. That's fine. Everyone's got a life experience that I think is of value. And corporations produce better work when all of those voices and ideas come together, and then you produce that widget, and it's perfect. It's wonderful, right? So that was always my advice. Don't root it in just social wrongs that you want to fix, because at least for-profit organizations, they're not very good at holding on to that. What they do respond to is their profit and their losses and their market share, and how are they doing vis-a-vis their competitors. And so root your DEI and ground it in that, and it will stand this test of time, hopefully.
And so certainly Target has seen some backlash, and some others. And so I'm curious your thoughts around, like, an entrepreneur, maybe 1 to 5 team members. Are we impacted, by executive orders? Are we free and clear? What are your thoughts around that kind of like small?
That's a lot. I mean, we could talk about tariffs if you want to talk about impact to small businesses. That is just a whole conversation on its own, which I'm happy to get into because I actually love that stuff, having been in logistics for 12 plus years. For small businesses, I think for the bigger executive orders that I'm seeing, and I'm just scanning some of them, I think you're kind of flying under the radar from a DEI perspective. That's the feel that I get when I read these executive orders. I don't think Pam Bondi is sitting at her desk scouring, the websites of businesses with 1 to 5 employees. Doesn't mean you are immune from scrutiny, especially if something kind of happens that brings you in the spotlight. But I think you're kind of flying under the radar. And so if you service a diverse customer base, and if you are servicing diverse communities, you have to be able to see their world. Do you want me in a room of doctors talking about prostate cancer and what the best remedy is? I don't know. I don't even have a prostate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you need to bring people in with the life experience necessary for you to produce what it is that you produce. And especially if you want to expand You got to bring it in and just ground it in your business. The Trump administration is not yet bold enough to say profits be damned, right? Because they backed down on the H-1B visas when I guess Microsoft and Apple were like, no, we need immigrants from India. What are you talking about? Yeah. So when it comes to profits, money still talks in this country. So just ground everything that you do in your business objective and your business goals and milestone, and you should be mostly safe.
And I think this positions us as a competitive advantage because we're more nimble, we're closer to our customers and all of that. So, perhaps going to maybe a big boy, if you will, quote unquote, it would be an advantage perhaps to work with perhaps a smaller, if we would say small business owner, which brings up a topic that we were talking about before we jumped on air around legal guidance and legal services that small businesses need. And you said something very interesting that some of our lawyers that listen might say, but you said we don't need to hire a lawyer for everything. So let's talk about that.
You don't need to hire a lawyer for everything. Folks, if you're not using AI, if you're afraid of it, if you resent it, if you think it's going to replace you, if you think the bots are coming and it's going to be the Matrix and we're all going to live in a little capsule, whatever, you need to get over that. If that's going to happen, it's not happening today. Right. AI today can really help your business to move quickly and save you money. And in one area, you don't need to go to outside counsel for every contract, for every issue. If you know what prompts to put in AI, now you can have open AI like ChatGPT where your information is not confidential, but they also have closed systems that's, it's all like self-contained. But what you need, and what I actually am thinking about doing and have been thinking about it, is you just need a lawyer to tell you what prompts and what your risk levels are. Anything outside of your risk parameter, now you go to outside counsel, but not for your day-to-day. So you can maybe hire a legal assistant, maybe hire a paralegal for less than half of what maybe your outside counsel will cost. And he or she can put in the prompts and help you, generate your templates, your customer contract templates, your NDA. If you're going to a lawyer for NDA, I'm mad at you already.
We're mad already.
You don't need to do that. But okay, you don't know what prompts. You don't know what to tell AI to do and what not to do. And you don't know what your risk parameters are. Fine. Spend some money and have your outside counsel set that up. You might get some resistance because they realize their bread and butter, their daily bread and butter. I wouldn't say going away. It's changing, and change is scary. And I totally appreciate that. But if they know your business and they know your risk profile, they can tell you exactly what to prompt AI to look out for. In 3 seconds, your contract is drafted. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Right.
3 seconds. Right. And if you give it to your customer and they mark it up and they redline it and do all that stuff, we can have a template to show you what is within your risk tolerance level from an insurance standpoint, which you should have insurance,
yes.
CGL and all of that, commercial general liability and all that insurance, what your risk profile is and what is outside of that. If it's outside of that risk profile, then you go to your attorney and you pay those hourly rates. That is what I think small businesses should be doing. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to just tell them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do this. And I am 1000% with you if there is a thing. AI first. And so certainly our company is strong on marketing, branding, visibility. And one of the things we released last week for Black Friday was AI prompt packs. So we AI prompt packs related to marketing and branding and offers and all that. So I think it would be hugely smart of attorneys if they haven't done something like that, and i.e. perhaps you, Nadine,
I think I will.
to do something similar. And I think that all of us for business owners should be thinking AI first. So if someone's listening and watching saying, how can I find out more about Nadine? Where can I connect with her? Where should they go?
So the website is a good place, but also my email address is nadine.jones@gcsupportservice.com. That's a good place. That's my direct email. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm actually pretty active on LinkedIn, so just search for Nadine Jones. Let me get or General Counsel Support Service. I just have to take a quick peek. Yes. So you can you will find me, hopefully. And I look forward to engaging with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that so much wealth of knowledge that you have and in that certainly education space, the DEI space, and all of that. I don't want to leave out that you also have a nonprofit. And so, tell us how your work intersects in that space, DEI and the nonprofit you have.
So the nonprofit, it's kind of dormant now, so I don't want to mislead anyone. Okay. But it was started in 2020, and it's called the Initiative Advancing the Blue and Black Partnership. Okay. And it was founded by myself and 2 other Howard alumna, Black women, mothers of Black sons. And 2020 was a very turbulent year for members of the Black community and the Blue community, starting with Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, not with George Floyd, but that one in Georgia was the kickoff for us when he was jogging and was gunned down on the street. And there was a lot of talk about, qualified immunity and legislation and prosecutions and all of that. But we live in the here and the now as parents. And all of that would take years, if ever, to actually trickle down so that day-to-day life for our Black sons walking home from school and the beat cop would be an improved interaction. Mm-hmm. And then also being in corporate, we know relationships are everything. That's the currency that makes the whole world work. Basically, it's relationships. So we set out on a journey to improve relationships. And we were each of us triggered by the police, had never had a positive interaction with the police. We're afraid. But we knew that the only way to get to the other side was through this and start to build mechanisms and scale mechanisms for folks to be able to humanize each other. Yeah. What a transformative experience it was for me personally to work with so many police executives, Black and white, Democrat and Republican, on the East Coast, Midwest, South. I was scared of the one from the South. I thought for sure he was going to be like racist. I love him. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like human interaction if it's done in a safe space, and you have like a common goal. And that experience has actually made me very adverse to othering people. Yeah, ever since that experience, I bristle sometimes when someone is doing a lot of othering. It makes me uncomfortable, not because I'm judging them, but because I remember where I was. The police were just a caricature. I didn't see any human beneath the badge at all. And y'all just, brutal and don't like Black people. That was really, my thinking. Right. And when you spend time and be open, and they're open to me as my experience as a Black woman with a Black son and what it looks like and feels like to me, I got to tell you, human beings, we can do some pretty magical things. And it was an incredible experience. We worked with a number of big police agencies, and it transformed me. I hope it transformed them in some way, but it certainly transformed me in a huge way that stayed with me. So wonderful.
Thank you for certainly sharing that with us. I'm telling you, our time flew by. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it flew by. So the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
I'm in a new space in my life. Like I'm 54 now.
Same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully maybe you can relate. The things that would get me excited 20, 30 years ago in terms of title and money. And yeah, I still care about title and money, but it is not enough.
Yeah.
Who I'm working with, what is the mission? Doesn't mean it has to be like a nonprofit, but
Right.
what are the values? What good are we going to be doing?
Yeah.
I just had a friend over, and her nephew won the championship. He's like 11, right? For a football game. He's the quarterback. And she showed me all of his pictures, and he came with her. And when I told him how proud I was of him, and I know how much hard work it took and how many practices he didn't want to go to, but he did it. And now he's got the ring and the trophy. He was literally glowing from the inside out, just from words, words. Okay, those are the things that get me excited.
Yeah.
Those are the things that get me excited. Being a blessing, encouraging people, showing small businesses how they can save some money, and they can say, oh, I'm so glad I listened to Sharvette's radio show.
Yeah.
I get off on helping people. I really do. And using my skill set to just elevate and help. That's, GC support services. That's really what I want to do with my time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I can just see the glow. I don't even know him, but I could see a child's glow there. And so great. So when they jump over to your website, what are the services that you have available that people can work with you, purchase, and all of that?
So I do have on there, but the, small businesses, I can support you with that. What I'm doing mostly is like big projects. So those projects for organizations where you really don't have the time because your day-to-day plate is overflowing, but yet they still need to get done. And you need like a project manager to connect all the dots. So I have the time to devote solely to that. So I've been doing that. Some one-off things that, I don't even charge for some of it. I probably shouldn't say it, but DEI, of course, if you want to talk about how you can salvage your program or insulate the program, I'm here for that. I can give you some words, but I actually think DEI should expand. And if you, don't cancel me for this, but if you've got white rural men feeling like they're not being seen, then just be curious. Just be curious. It doesn't mean you're conceding anything.
Right.
Because you're like, how could they not be seen? They run everything. Be curious as to where this is coming from. Just be curious. That's all I'm saying. And the more we can expand to include everybody's perspective as in a respectful and safe environment.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to produce some tremendous things. So I can help you with those policies and practices.
Beautiful. Let me capture this, Ms. Smith, over on LinkedIn. I love this. I'm also in a different phase of life. Thank you for sharing. It's the little things and true relationships that matter. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Smith, for your comment. I think that's a great way to end and wrap up this segment. Thank you so much again, Nadine. Wishing you much more continued success.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I had a great time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, viewers and listeners, we are glad you hung out with us. Hey, Christina, we're glad to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Thank you so much. It's a wrap. If you came in and you're like, oh my goodness, I missed a part of it. No problem. One of the easiest things to do is to go to Sharvette.com and you'll see a full blog post for Nadine and links to all of her connection points. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Like, what are you doing? You know you love this content. Subscribe to our channel and look down below in the show notes for this information. And again, shout out to those that are checking us out on Instagram. We appreciate you. As always, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. We're wrapping up. Right now, we want to remind you to go ahead and grab our marketing planner. If you are over on YouTube, I got it right, y'all. You're over on YouTube. You can, and you're watching by way of a TV, or you're on Amazon Music watching by way of a TV. You can scan that and grab a free marketing planner. If you're a business owner, small business owner, and you're like, what am I doing with my marketing? we got you covered and can get you started with this complimentary marketing planner, mymarketingplan.biz. All right, it is a wrap. Thank you so much, Stacey, for being here. I love that you are here. Thank you. Hello, Marilyn Edwards, word of wisdom to take you through life. God bless you all. God is in control. We agree with you on that. All right, it's a wrap. We'll see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.